Okay, the first topic I wanted to talk about was fear. And I talked about it in my intro that that would be my first topic. So fear is something that is very prevalent in the human condition. And if you look around, our society, fear is running rampant. And it's not just fear of the unknown, but, fear of other people, fear of the wrong people, fear of being disrespected, fear of not being included, or fear of being excluded. A lot of those fears are very powerful and motivating behavior. Now, I want to talk about fear from the perspective of my experience with it and what I've done to come to terms with it. So, a lot of the fears that have persisted in my life up until this point, for me personally, is fear of not being respected, fear of being excluded, or fear of not being included, and fear of not being validated, fear of not being understood. Now, what I have done, to overcome a lot of these fears so they don't rule my life. They are no longer my primary motivation for my behavior or for how I come at people or for how I act professionally. I used to have a huge fear of people not liking me. I know, totally unrealistic expectation to have on anyone, let alone oneself. But nonetheless, that's where I was in my life. So what happened to me was that one day in 2013, I decided that what I choose to think of other people is none of their business, and what people choose to think of me is none of my business, so who the hell am I to judge? And what that did was that totally took the power out of that fear. Now, for me, it was a simple action of flipping around a thought and kind of turning it on its head and, challenging my own belief system, challenging how I saw the world at that point. And what it did was it freed me up. It freed me up to be a lot more open-minded than I thought I was, a lot more receptive to new ideas than I thought I was, and a lot more tolerant of people. Tolerance is something I feel is in very short supply these days. Patience as well. And if you look at your fears, because honestly, fear for me was a primary motivator throughout my life. And it's, it motivated me to make very rash decisions that had long-term consequences. I can honestly say that, my marriage and the ending of it was partly motivated by fear. It was fear of not finding someone, fear of being alone. It was only until I finally accepted the fact that it was okay to be alone that I finally stopped trying, And lo and behold, I'm blessed with a beautiful woman in my life today who actually is the primary motivation for me doing this in the first place, because she's the one that gave me the idea. And so what that does is it opened my mind. It gave me a rest. I did not have to worry about what people thought of me. And, it's not like I don't care. It's like it's not ruling me. It's not dominating how I see myself, And so, I hope this is helpful to you. If it is, or if it is not, or if you have suggestions or questions, please email me at smcnamara69@gmail.com. What I'm going to talk about next is anger. It's related to fear, So I will see you then. Bye-bye.